Hello, 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 everyone. And this is Sandra Graves, and welcome to The Code. And today we're going to be talking about, usually I'm always talking about motivational and all these kind of things, but I want to bring you more information about what's happening in the world and how we can make an impact in the world. And of course, for this, I have to bring a woman that is making an impact in the world. And she is, of course, from my country, Panama. Okay, she is a motivational speaker, an author, an ambassador. She is a powerful woman, and you know what? The titles is not what make her powerful. It's her heart about changing life, about making an impact in other people's life. So if you think that your titles, your diplomas is what making you amazing, that is not it. It is your attitude about helping others, your humanitarian attitude. And this is what this woman have. Her name is Doctora, I have to say it in Spanish because it sounds better, Melida A. Harris Barrow. And she is from Panama originally. And we are going to be talking about DARIEN, the abandoned treasure. And let me explain that. DARIEN is a province of Panama, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So stay tuned, focus, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask your question. But right now, I think you're going to be really happy with what we are going to be sharing with you. If you're an expert and you want to share something with us, please send us an email to info@envivoassociate.com. And Melida, Doctora Melida,
¿Cómo
tell
estás?
us, for all those people that don't know who you are, who is
I'm
Melida,
Dr.
and
Melida
then
Harris
tell us.
Barrow. I'm the author of Unveiling the Illusion, Who You Are. I wrote the book about a year ago. I am so pleased with the book, and so many of my clients are also pleased with it. I'm also the Universal Peace Ambassador for Panama, international business consultant, motivational speaker, as Sandra said, so many other things. As she said, more directed to humanitarian. I love people, and there's so many injustice in the world. So I travel around the world helping people, redirecting their mindset and unveiling the illusion. So today, I want to talk about Darien, the province of Panama, which I've been traveling there since last year. And I've witnessed so many things that is happening in Darien. And I believe that I need to share it with the audience today and the world, of course, and the reason I titled it, it's a treasure, actually. Many people, even in Panama, Sandra, have no clue about Darien. They just know the name. Many residents in Panama, in other districts, have not been to Darien.
I never been to Darien. So.
I know. A lot of us, that was my second time going to Darien. I think the first time I went to Darien was in 2009. And I just got up one day and I decided that's the only province that I've never visited. So I visit it on my own. I just drove there for 3 hours and I enjoyed myself. But this time I was...
What was it, before we get into the abandoned part of it, yes. What was it that you enjoyed of it? What was it that was good about it?
Oh my God. Number one, the people.
Mm-hmm.
The people are so kind. The people in Darien have a lot to offer. Actually, I met this lady, her name is Edelmira Sanchez, and she's actually a historian. And I want to talk about her today. But the history of Darien, many of us don't know. This location, that region, was where the slaves were taken in that region. And Edelmira Sanchez actually just built a museum in La Palma, Darien.
Mm-hmm.
And this museum is about our ancestors from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, she's having a lot of trouble now trying to get it funded. but she's still determined, and she's going to inaugurate this first museum. That's the first time ever in history that they are going to have a museum in La Palma Darien.
Wow.
On the history of the Africans that landed there. Well, slaves, I should say, that was taken to Darien. And I want to talk...
Well, educate me, because when I think of Darien, I don't think of no Africans in Darien.
I
so
know.
Let's clear that up first.
Right.
Because as you can see from the cover of this thumbnail, there was no African in that picture. So can you help us understand that?
Yes, please. Darien, if you go to Darien, you are going to see Africans. You are going to see the indigenous people, the emberas. I was not in shock because I knew a little bit when I went in 2009. But this time I was able to visit La Palma. I was able to visit Punta Alegre on this last trip that I visited, which was in March. And when I landed there, I was so shocked because I've never been to Africa before, which I will be going this year. But I actually thought that I was in Africa. It was amazing. It
really?
was amazing.
You make me feel like wanting to go there now.
It was amazing.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. I see all these children and the culture. And I don't think the people in Panama even know about this.
Wow.
This is so amazing. This is history that we don't know about. And Edelmira Sanchez is trying to bring that history to us, but she does not have the budget to do so. So I keep mentioning her name because...
So let me interrupt you. Edelmira Sanchez, is she one of the people in the picture that you shared with me?
She's actually on my Facebook right now.
Oh, okay.
If you go to my Facebook, if the audience go to my Facebook, Melida Harris Barrow, she is actually holding a flag, walking down the street. This woman is the only woman, and there's another gentleman that is actually talking about the history. The other gentleman is 100 years old. And I sat with him, and he told me about the history of the Africans in Darien. No one wants to talk about this, and I wonder why. Now, I want to step forward and talk about how the people in Darien talks about how Darien is abandoned. Es una ciudad, es una provincia abandonada. So what I've done while I've been there is to teach the people it is not abandoned. It might be abandoned by the government, but it's not abandoned by God.
That's right.
And one of the things that I've noticed is the richness of the province. When you talk about seafood, when you talk about the agriculture, all of these things, you talk about the natives on the land, the emberas, the different type of artesanias, jewelry, all the things that they make. It's just unbelievable. So how and why have the government abandoned, according to the people, Darien?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Now, we are having so many issues in Panama. Hardly anyone talks about it outside of Panama, only in Panama. There's a lot of racism in Panama.
Yeah. Bring it on, because I'm with you on that one.
And I want to talk about that today.
Yeah. But just the story of Darien, it is an impact on that racism part of it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's an impact on racism because when I look at Darien, I see the indigenous and I see people of African descent.
Yeah.
And the situation that's even happening in Colón today, in Bocas del Toro, these are all regions of people of African descent. Why are they going through what they're going through? Is it racism? Of course it is. Every year, every 5 years, a president comes in and promises them the world, promise them about all these things, and they never got it. So my point to the audience is, yes, there is racism in Panama, and it's going to continue until we come together as a people, but not just as Black people.
That's right.
Because there's so many people in Panama that are suffering under this racism.
That's right.
So we need to come together. We need to start thinking about economic development, especially in Darien, especially in Bocas del Toro, especially in Colón, and all these Black regions.
Especially all the people that are not living in Panama. You think that you don't have anything to do with it? Yes, we can make an impact, even though we are away from Panama.
My organization, Love, Truth, and Peace, and the ambassadors we were there in March. We went to Yavisa. We gave out book bags. There were children there that was going to school with paper bags, with no bags, just the pencil and their books in their hands. Our organization was able to donate all of these things, all of these book bags to Yavisa, Punta Alegre, La Palma, Rio Abajo, all these different places. Guess what? How much I received in donation? Under $1,000.
Wow.
But with that amount, we were able to donate to those children. And that's what it's about. We cannot continue to talk. And I want to thank those, all of the people that have donated to our organization, because you made an impact in these children's life. I have one point I want to make. When we were donating at a particular school in La Palma, there was this one indigenous child. Her and her mother was at the school pleading for her child to go to school because she didn't have any uniform. So one of my ambassador, Mipsa Powell, saw the situation and came to me and said, she might not be accepted at the school because she's wearing her indigenous clothes. We took her straight to the store, which was across the street. We took $50 and we purchased her uniform. I took her back to the hotel, gave her a shower, combed her hair, and in 1 hour, she was back to that school in her uniform.
Wow.
I want to say this. Racism exists, but racism equals privilege. It has nothing to do with your color.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do what you can and cannot do. I have realized in my life that my color is not going to stop me from doing anything.
That's right.
We have to come to a point in our life of stop begging, of stop pleading.
Yes.
It's enough of us that we can come together and create an economic development in Darien, in Colón, in Bocas del Toro, in the world. But we are institutionalized. We are brainwashed. And we need to unveil that illusion that we cannot do something. Yes, we can. We can do so many things, but we are afraid and we think and we were taught that we cannot do it on our own.
That's right.
So with less than $1,000, we were able to bless those children. But we have gone over our organization to La Palma, and I was invited also by the mayor alcaldesa Nadine in Meteti, and we spoke and we taught and we inspired and motivated the people. You see, it's not always just about money. It's about love. It's about going to a nation, being in a community, going to a village and give back of ourselves. If we don't do that, who are we? Just like the other day, it was said that they don't have the budget in Panama in order for I think it was the INAC department the minister, or the president, or the coordinator of the head, I should say, of the ENAC. She's handling all the cultures and things like that. And she said that there will be no budget for people of African descent to exercise your culture. Well, let me just say this. Everyone said that they can't believe that she would say that because she's black. Racism has nothing to do with color. That's the mistake that we're having. We are talking about what a black person have done to another black person. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your mindset. You see, many of us do not want to be who we are. And that goes for the people in Darien, because I have a friend that when she was raised as a black girl in Darien, she was told that she's not really black. She's just Panamanian. How many Panamanians in Panama that are black and don't want to accept who they are?
Yes.
That is a known fact.
Yeah.
I have people in my family that have told me that they wouldn't marry a black man because he's black, because they want mixed children. How many of that does not happen in Latin America, in the Caribbean, in the world?
Well, I know when I went to Panama, my husband is white, and he got treated better than me when we went to Panama, and it was by black people. The actual white people were very kind, but the black people was the one who did not treat me well, or my kids, but everybody was praising him like he was the king of somewhere. And that is a problem in Panama.
That is a problem. And I want to get back to Darien being a gold mine. And
so before you get back to that, I do have to go on a commercial break.
Okay.
And when we get back, tell us more about those points. How is it that we, Panamanians that are outside of Panama, can help your organization, can make an impact? So let's get back to that after the commercial break.
Thank you.
Live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget, we're bringing you coaches, speakers, classes, and much more. We are here to help you grow. Don't forget, we are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome to the Code. And don't forget that if you are an expert in a particular area and you want to share your expertise with us, your wisdom with us, please get in touch with me at info@envivoassociates.com. Also, if you have a story that you want to tell, because we all have a story to tell, please go ahead and share your story with us. And we are back with Doctora Melida A. Barrow. I love saying doctora instead of doctor. And she's going to continue to tell us about Darien. But before I go any further, I want to help you understand that if you do want to connect with her, at the bottom of this page is her website, www.melidaharrisbarrow.com. Visit her. She have a book, Unveiling the Illusion. She have it in both Spanish and English, and you can learn more about her. She's doing a lot of things, and it's not about what she's doing, because busy doesn't mean anything. It's about touching life. It's about making an impact, and you can make an impact. You don't have to be rich to make an impact. You just have to be creative, and you have to have a heart. So anyway, Melida, back to you.
I want to get into the situation in Darien, the situation in Colón, the situation in various communities in Panama. I think one of the main issues that I've discovered is the mindset of the people. And this goes for the indigenous people. This goes for people of African descent. I think what I've discovered is that we're always sitting waiting for someone to give us something. We are always, and I had this experience with a group of indigenous people where they, even to have a summit, they have to travel all the way to Panama, 3 hours, to go to the mayor's office in order to get funds just to buy gas. That's unbelievable, just to have a summit. So I've taught them, instead of going all the way to Panama to beg, because begging, of course, the government has a budget for them. But he told me, and I asked him, how much is it that they give you? He says $395 in order to put gas in their canoes for all of them to meet at one place. This here, and I want to show you, oh, it came up. These earrings that you see, and I have the necklace, and apparently it just came off. They are rich. They have no clue. They have all these jewelries, all these artesanías, todo eso. And they don't know or understand that they can import, export all of that. So our organization now is in the middle of teaching them how. You see, we have to become independent.
Yeah, teach them how to fish.
Yeah, we cannot continue. And I'm talking to the people in the world that are listening to this. Enough is enough. You have the resources.
Yes.
It's what you're doing with the resources. The problem is you were not educated in order to be entrepreneurs. You were educated to serve. You were educated to do other people's, to make others rich. And that is the problem. So our organization now is traveling around the world, teaching people what they can do with the resources they have. Enough of the begging, enough of somebody's trying to put, just like, for example, the other day, they told them in Panama that they can't give them the budget to do their cultural events, their African culture events. So what are we going to do now? Are we going to fight? Yes, probably. But guess what? In the meantime, you still should come together and come up with the budget to do what you have to do. No man on this earth should be able to tell you, or no government on this earth should be able to tell you whether you can celebrate your culture or not, or whether you can celebrate your programs or not. I think our mentality are so broken, and it is time for us, and this is what I do, and this is what the book is about, is unveiling that illusion. It is time to unveil the illusion of all these things, thinking that because you don't get something, you cannot do anything.
That's right.
It is time to change that, Sandra.
Yes.
And I remember you told me once, and this stuck with me, and believe it or not, Sandra, everywhere I travel, I talk about this.
Share it about the Clorox.
And
was it about the Clorox?
I'm sorry?
Is it about the Clorox?
It's about the Clorox.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, Sandra, when you told me about that experience that you had when you was young, because of your complexion, you poured Clorox on your skin.
I did. Presente aquí, I did.
You poured Clorox on your skin. Because the pressure as a young woman in Panama, look at what you have done to yourself. So you're not the only one. There's so many of you in Panama and in the world that don't want to be black because of the pressure. It's because of what you were taught. But I want to send out a positive message today. Racism has nothing to do with your color.
That's right.
It has to do with the privilege. When you have enslaved people for so long, and you have developed this economic empowerment, and then set you free with nothing, and then use that to say, you're nothing, you'll never become anything. But because you're black, because you're this, it has nothing to do with your color.
Yeah.
So never allow any man on this earth to tell you that you're nothing because of your color.
That's right.
Because you are above that. God does not create people like that. God creates powerful people. God did not create you in that complexion for someone else to tell you that you're nothing.
That's right.
And I believe that. So that's why when someone come to me and tell me anything out of the way, I would let them know for a fact. You might have more privilege than I do, but guess what? My privilege comes from above.
Ooh, preach it. Preach it.
My privilege comes from above, and that is God. So no man can tell me who I am, because I already know who I am. I already know what God created, a powerful woman.
That's right. And you know, it's funny because since we are talking about this, now that I did my hair, I cut all my hair off. It have nothing to do with Wakanda, you people, okay? It have nothing to do with Wakanda. I did it before Wakanda. Yes. Anyway, now people are mostly Panamanian comment is, tú te ves muy negra, you look so black. And I'm like, I am black.
Yes.
And it's funny because I'm so sorry that you don't know that I am black. And they are black themselves. And they feel that just because I took all my hair off, that make me more black. Well, exactly. That's the reason why I took it off. I don't need to have all of these things to be able to, for someone to say that soy panameña, whatever. I know that I am black. I embrace it, you know, and which it was a very hard thing for me. And I really love what you are doing. That's the reason why I wanted to talk to you, because you are helping other people embrace that. You can be black and you can be Panamanian. It doesn't disconnect. It goes together.
Yes. Because one of the things, too, that we need to understand is that people of African descent in Darien, they came directly from Africa. They were slaves directly from Africa. Yes. Black people living in the city, most of them are from the Caribbean, their ancestors. So the people living in Darien, they only speak Spanish. They don't speak English. So they are having a tough time being who they are. And this is why even the indigenous people, I am teaching them how powerful they are. And all of the things that they have in their community, in the comarca, it can be, they can create that economic empowerment, but no one to teach them. And this is why I'm there. I am there.
So our time is coming close to an end. So can you just tell us what it is that we can do to help you continue to make an impact in the end?
Yes. First of all, there's so many housing that's needed. Young people that are going to school need scholarships. There's so many young people also wants to start their businesses, and this is what we do in our organization. We would like for you to be part of what we're doing. If you cannot donate funds, donate your service. And to donate the funds, you can go to my website, melidaharrisbarrow.com, and you would see charity, and you can donate there directly. Those of you that have services and talents, we need you. We are also helping with the hospital in La Palma. They need supplies. When I went to the hospital, there's mold in the hospital. I understand that they're getting ready now to rebuild the hospital, but they still need the supplies for the hospital. So we are going to need help with that. Darien also have a lot of seafood, agriculture, but there is no infrastructure. That is the problem, the infrastructure. So if you would like to even, we're looking for investors also. And this is why I have this organization also called Panama World Trade and Investment. So those of you that would like to invest in DARIEN, it's a great opportunity. DARIEN, as I said, is a hidden treasure. There is a lot of negative things that are being said about DARIEN because it's on the border of Colombia, and this is where they have a lot of problems as far as drug trafficking from Colombia to Panama. But we do have the border service, which is called the Senafront. In Spanish is the Servicio Nacional de Fronteras. And they is a specialized and permanent police force there, structured and organized to protect Panama land borders. So there is a lot of protections there for the people. But at the same time, trust me, there is a lot coming in DARIEN. And those of you that want to help us, to help them, please, you can donate to us. You can go to our website. Again, it's www.melidaharrisbarrow.com.
Well, thank you, Melida, for sharing that with us. This is a short program, so I know there's so much that we need to talk about that. But I definitely would like to invite you, if you are listening, to make sure that you connect with Melida, visiting her website, and be able to be part of this. I mean, in the long run, you want to be part of change. You want to be part of improvement. You want to be part of helping others create a better life. So if you want to be part of that, please connect with Melida Harris Barrow at her website. And again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your passion, and thank you for your love.
Love you.
And don't forget, guys, if you want to tell your story here, go ahead and do so. Send us an email to info@envivoassociates.com.